Hi, welcome to our daily encounter. Uh, Today, as you read chapter 33, one of the main things that you walk away with is, hey, these people have been a lot of places. As I went through and just kind of quickly tried to count all the places that they went through, I counted at least 40 places, and maybe even more than that, depending on how you count them. And so that's a lot of places, 40 places in 40 years. Imagine if you and your family moved 40 times in 40 years. It's a lot. They've been a lot of places. And this record in chapter 33, I think is a treasure. It's a treasure for us to be able to go back and kind of follow their route. Now, given that some of these locations have been lost over the years, it's difficult to map out exactly where their wanderings went, but still we can get a rough idea of where all they went during their wilderness wanderings, and so it helps us in that way. But it would help them as well as a opportunity for them to reminisce about all the different places that they had gone, for this particular generation, and then for future generations to look back and know their heritage, know their history, and know what their forefathers had endured and the places they had gone in the wilderness. And so this is very helpful. But maybe more important than that, at least for us, is that it gives us an opportunity to think about our own lives and to perhaps reminisce a bit about the places that we have gone. I know that in a previous devotion, we talked about how we shouldn't live in the past. We shouldn't, with our new identity in Christ, we should always be looking ahead, looking at the new things that God has for us. But from time to time, it is helpful sometimes to look back and to reminisce and look at all the places that you've been in your life. Because if it was listed out like it's listed out here for the Israelites, I believe it would be a lot longer than chapter 33. Because there's the physical locations that we have all lived. Some people have lived in more locations than others. Some people have traveled through all 50 states. Some people have traveled across the world, especially if some of you guys are in the military or have spouses in the military. You've done a lot of traveling. I've lived personally in 3 different states. And in one of the states, I've lived in 3 different regions within that state. I think all of us, or most of us, have lived in different places physically. But not only the physical locations that we've lived, but there's other locations, other places that we have gone. There are the emotional places that we have gone. There have been a lot of stages in our life where we've gone through the dark places, the places of difficulty, the places of trials, maybe the loss of a loved one, maybe physical things that have happened to us in our bodies, disease, sickness, things like that, that have caused us a lot of emotional, or brought us into a lot of emotional places. There could be happy places where we've been, birth of a child, marriage, different things that have brought us into the sunshine of life, into the good times. So emotionally, we've been in a lot of places, and spiritually, as we look back on our lives, we can probably think about all of the places we've been spiritually, the times in which we've fallen into temptation, the times in which we've messed up, times when we failed God, those deep, dark places in our lives where we really were not walking the way that we should. But then also we've had those good places spiritually, times that we did bear much fruit for the Lord, and times when we did endure temptation with the help of the Lord, and good times that we have spent worshiping God and things like that. And so we could list out in our own life all the places that we have been, physically, emotionally, and spiritually. And the beautiful thing about it is not just that we can look back and say, hey, we've been all these places, but we can say the same thing that the Israelites could say about the places that they had gone. You know, as they go back and maybe they pick up this chapter 33, one thing they could say throughout all those places that they've been was that the Lord was with them. Remember, the Lord was guiding them. He guided them by day with the pillar, He guided them at night with the fire. God was always there. His presence was there. Sometimes it was to help them, to give them water, to give them food, to provide for them, to protect them. And then sometimes it was to discipline them. But God was always there. In every one of these places, every one of these 40 plus places that's listed, God's presence was there. And we can say the same thing about our lives. No matter where we have been, if we've been through all 50 states, if we've been clear across the world, God was there. Remember Psalms 139, where can I flee from your spirit? Where can I go from your spirit? There's nowhere we can go where we are away from the Lord. And the Lord has been with us no matter where we are, no matter where we've gone. All the emotional places that we've been, no matter what we've dealt with, if we've dealt with depression, sadness, you name it, God was there. When we were experiencing the good times, God was there. He was there as the pillar during the good times, and He was like that fire at night during the dark times in which we needed guidance and we needed His light to bring us through, and He brought us through. Spiritually, God has been with us through it all. And so here we are today. Here we are today, and the Lord is still with us. And so we should not just think about the past and think about what the Lord has done for us in the past and the places that we've gone. But let's take a moment and think about where we are now. Because that's probably more important than looking back at where you've been. Is to know where you are now. Where are you right now? Are you, of course you probably know where you physically are. Hopefully you know where your physical address is, or where you're at when you're watching this video. But do you know where you are emotionally right now? Where are you emotionally? In what place are you in? Are you in the bright sunshine of life and the joy? Or are you in a dark place? I'm here to tell you, if you're in either one of those places, the Lord is with you. And His presence is with you, and He's guiding you through that. He's either appearing as a pillar, if you're in the sunshine, or He's appearing as that fire to guide you through the darkness. Whatever it is, He's there for you to guide you through it. And as you look in the future, you probably can see some places that you are inevitably going to go in life. Guess what? God's going to be there for you. And so through all of life's circumstances, its ups and downs, no matter what we have to endure, the Lord is with us, and He's there to guide us, to comfort us, to help us. And that should bring comfort to our hearts, and that should bring peace to our hearts. And it should encourage us to make our lives all about Him, so that we can hold fast to Him and keep Him as the anchor for our soul. So with that, guys, let's just spend the day kind of reminiscing, kind of thinking back of all the times the Lord has been there with us. And then also use it to think of where we are now and where we are going, and to pray for Him to continue to guide us and help us through this life. I thank you guys for watching the video. I love you guys. Hope you guys have a great day. God bless.